So what's up everybody, my name is Ralph from TechRS and today we are back with another tech news. Okay, so today we are back with another tech news. We're going to go over all of the latest articles of the last week, so let's jump right into it. First up, we got a review on the Acer Concept D7, which is of course a $2,000 Acer laptop. They are mentioned $3,000 actually for a laptop. They did mention that it's a pretty badass laptop with a lot of good specs. As you can see, 32 gigs of RAM, an i7 core with an RTX 2080. Of course, an i9 in combination with a 2080 is better, but still a 1 terabyte SSD, which is a lot, as well as that it is a 4K resolution or close to a 4K resolution with a 15.6 inch screen. Also say that they have a 3D reality, so they have a pretty deep dark canvas, and their 3D like is pretty good, they say, with 100% Adobe RGB game mode, which means that it can go from really dark to like really light colors. It is 22 millimeters thick and it weighs 4.8 pounds with a, as already mentioned, 15.6 inch screen. So they are really high end specs. So for gaming you will be like solid with this laptop. Overall I mean like 22 millimeters is like pretty thick for a laptop these days, but of course it's logical because there's a 2080 Ti in it, which is already from itself a pretty thick graphics card, as well as that there are 32 gigs of RAM in it. So there's also a lot of RAM, so that needs a lot of space, as well as that there's a lot of fans on the sides, but still it is a pretty badass computer overall. I do like that it's white because most of the gaming computers are actually black with like red contrast, but this one is more like white with more like a yellow gold looking contrast. So I think they did a really great job on that. Then, as we are already in the world of laptops, you're going to look at what Wired recommends as the best laptops, the top 9 of them actually. As they say, the light as air is of course the Apple MacBook Air, which is a really slim, pretty powerful computer. It's a 30-inch screen. It do cost $1,000, which is pretty big. You also have a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but of course this is gonna be more expensive. There is a Core i5 processor in it for an extra $100, or you can go for the top end model, which is the MacBook Pro Air. So that's pretty good. Then next off, the competitor of course this Apple MacBook Air is the Dell XPS 13 2020 version, which is one of the latest Dell laptops that there is right now. It does have a 16:10 aspect ratio, which you mostly don't see. You mostly see 16:9 or 4:3 ratio. But still, it's nice. You will have some black bars when you're watching some videos, but if you don't bother them, then of course you do have a lot more screen with a 16:10 ratio because you have more height in comparison to the width of your laptop. But also $1,200, which is pretty much a lot. And they have improved the battery life, so it's now 12.5 hours. And it has a 4K screen and also supports HDR video, which is like a really colorful type of video, so that's nice. And then they have like the elegance, or more what they think is the more better outside looking computer, is the Microsoft Surface Laptop 3, which I do agree. It is a really good looking laptop. It is 2019 version laptop with 15-inch screen, but they also have a 13-inch version. it is $1,000, and you will have 10 hours in there test of battery life with an i7 core. So for a laptop an i7 core, if you don't want to do gaming, an i7 is actually enough, and 10 hours of battery life is quite a lot, so you will be able to do the whole day with it. Then for the lightest laptop, they chose the Acer Swift 5. It's a 2.2 pound laptop, which is at the moment the world's lightest notebook, with a 15-inch display. So as I already mentioned, 15-inch display, 8 gigabytes of RAM, full HD screen with 256 gigs of SSD. It has a USB-C charging port and a full-size USB-A ports, and it even has an HDMI port, which is pretty nice for when you're trying to plug it into your monitor or your computer, or your monitor or your television. Then for like the convertible screens, which is the screens that you can fold open but also like completely flat, so you can use a touch screen, is the AP Spectre 360. So this one can go extremely flat, so you can actually twist it around like 360 degrees. It is a 2.9 13-inch laptop with an HD display, and it can actually get you up to 14 hours of battery life, so that's really nice and quite a lot. And if you want to go for like Chromebooks, they choose the Google Pixelbook Go. So this laptop actually only costs $350, but you will not get the Pixelbook's high-end specs, which is of course the i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and a 4K display. You will not get that. You will actually get a Core M3 chip, but Wired does recommend going for an i5 in either case, and you will get an 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is enough for an average Chromebook user. So, but the version they had was $1,000, and they did have the Core i5 and 8 gigabits of RAM. For the Big Mac, so get it, like Big Mac, like this Big Mac. yeah, funny. Anyway, they call it a Big Mac because it's one of the bigger laptops of Mac, and it's the Apple MacBook Pro, the 16-inch version with, of course, the touch bar. It is a pretty big laptop, so, and it's pretty expensive. You will get a 16-inch Pro, which offers two options. You can get a 6-core 9th generation Intel Core i9 with 16 gigs of RAM and a more powerful version 8-core i9 processor with up to 32 gigs of RAM and AMD Radeon graphics. So this is really a high-end MacBook, and you will see this in the spec in the price, because as you can see at Apple or at Amazon, they are priced around $2,400. You will also get a 4K video editing powerhouse, so you will get be able to edit 4K. Overall, it's a pretty fast laptop, but still for the price, it is really expensive. And of course, while we are still at Apple, we are going to look at the new Apple SE for 2020, which is the new SE version. Is more of the more affordable version of iPhones. It's only $400. It starts at as I said, $400 for a 64 gigabit storage version, and it has almost the same shape as an iPhone 8, which also means a 4.7 inch screen. Large bezels on top and on the bottom, which are these borders right here. So you will not have like the edge-to-edge screens. There is also 128 gigabits version for $500 and a 256 gigabit version for $549. And like other iPhones, it will also come with a free year of Apple TV Plus, and it comes in black, white and red, as you can see as the colors that you have right here. So for the overall specs, it gets a new camera, some new processors. It's now a 12 megapixel camera, which is actually a pretty good camera. and it says it is using the A13 Bionic chips to improve their HDR photograph, which is like they take multiple photos and they layer them on top of each other to make one picture, which makes all of the colors stand out the best. So you will need some extra time to take the picture, but the picture will look better, so that's pretty nice. It also supports 4K 60 FPS video for the back end camera. Of course, the front camera only has a 7 megapixel camera, which is still pretty good, but not as good as the back camera, of course. And right here you can see all the specs of it. So most important thing, 4.7 inch screen, 12 megapixel camera, as well as a 7 megapixel selfie camera. These are the dimensions. An A13 Bionic processor. These are your storage options and the battery life and stuff like that. It's not that interesting. So let's go to the next one. Here is wired recommendations for the best gadgets of the decade. There is 100 of them. If you want me to make a video about all 100 of these gadgets, let me know down in the comment, but it will be a pretty long video. I am probably going to even split it up in 2 versions. First the first 50 and then the other 50, which is still going to be like almost like 40-minute videos, both of them, because there's a lot of them, 100. So if you want me to make these 2 videos, let me know down in the comments and I will do them. And then also for the gamers out there, we are going to look at Super Mario 2 at actually world makers. So you will now be able to make your worlds instead of only making one map. If you are like an old gamer which used to play like on a Nintendo DS, the Super Mario Bros. I played it a lot when I was a child, so specifically this one they show right here, I do recommend a little from the first world that you can get in the Super Mario Bros. But I think it's nice that they're going to add world mode, so you can make worlds instead of only maps. So you will actually be able to create like your own game instead of only making one map. So that's pretty cool, and of course you can go pretty hardcore. You can also go for straight up design, so really nice looking maps, or for like, though I don't know if you've ever seen them, but you have those pretty like badass looking maps, which are like 0.1% successful rate. So like these really hard maps. So you can do like, or mix these, I don't know, you can go everywhere with your imagination. So I think it's pretty nice that they did this. I think that was about it for this video. Again, if you want me to make this video of the 2 around, I think 40-minute long videos, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the videos, consider subscribing, leave me a like, turn on that little bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.